Hey, what's going on, my fellow idiots? Welcome back for another episode of Idiot Proof Cooking. So today I'm going to show you how to make grasshopper pie, and it's simple. You just take like 40 or 50 grasshoppers and you mush them up into a paste, and then you make pie out of it. No, okay. Okay, that sounds absolutely disgusting. A grasshopper pie is really just, it's a mint Oreo pie. It's nice and fluffy and light and minty and chocolatey. It is amazing. It reminds me of a mint Oreo blizzard, actually, but in pie form. And a mint Oreo blizzard happens to be like my favorite thing you could ever get from DQ. So let's stop talking about it here in the intro. Let's get into making it because it is super easy and so damn good. Okay, so the first thing we're going to tackle in this grasshopper pie is the pie crust. So get out your food processor unless you feel like crushing up a bunch of cookies by hand. And speaking of cookies, we're going to be using Oreos to make the pie crust. Specifically 40 Oreos. Yes, there's a lot of Oreos, so pour them all into your food processor. Now you can remove the creams from the Oreos if you want, but it really doesn't hinder the pie crust, so I just leave mine on. But then you're just going to process these all together for like a minute or so until they form a nice crumbly Oreo dust, I guess is how you describe it. Like, look at that, it's nice and crumbly. Perfect, perfect. All right, so what we're going to do now is pour all of our Oreo cookie crumbs into a mixing bowl, and then we're going to add in 6 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter, and all we're going to do is just mix this all together until it's thoroughly combined and you have a nice wet sand consistency with all of the Oreo crumbs. Then you're going to get yourself out a 9-inch pie plate, much like the one I have here, and pour in the Oreo crumbs into it. Then get yourself a ramekin or a bowl or any kind of flat bottom thing you might have to press out the Oreo crumbs and make the pie crust. So I'm pressing the Oreo crumbs down along the bottom of the pie plate and up along the sides of the wall of it until it forms a nice solid crust. Now this can be a little bit finicky. Sometimes the crust can be a little bit crumbly, so you have to walk that fine line between not enough pressure and too much pressure pressing the crumbs out. Now what we're going to do is bake this for 10 to 12 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until it comes out looking very similar, but it's going to be a little bit more solid than before you baked it. So now all we're going to do is let this cool down. I would say for about 45 minutes to an hour or so. You can stick it in the fridge during that time if you like. Now while the pie crust is cooling down, let's make the filling for this pie. So on your burner on a medium-low heat, pour in 3/4 cup of whole milk, and we're just going to bring it to a very low simmer. So just stir it every once in a while until the milk starts to very lowly simmer, and then we're going to add in some marshmallows, specifically 30 large marshmallows. And what we're going to do is mix these in with the milk still on that low medium heat for the next 6-7 minutes until they completely melt and you get this really like fluffy, milky consistency like that. Look at that. Looks pretty cool so far, so let's kill the heat and continue on. Now to get that minty flavor for your grasshopper pie, you can throw in a teaspoon of peppermint extract, or a lot of recipes will say throw in like a 1/4 cup of creme de menthe, but if you don't want to use alcohol like I didn't, then I would add in a teaspoon of peppermint extract, and then I'm also going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract for a little added sweetness. I know I still haven't bought the vanilla paste. And then I'm going to add in a few dashes of green food coloring so that we get that green looking color for the grasshopper pie. So anyways, mix that all together for the next 30 seconds until it's fully integrated in with your fluffy mixture, and then we're going to let this cool down. So what I would do is let this cool down for like half an hour at room temperature, and then let it cool down for about another 45 minutes to an hour in the fridge. And during that time, while it's cooling down, that'll give us an opportunity to make some whipped cream. So into a mixing bowl, I'm going to add in 1 cup of heavy cream. Now I'm not going to add any sugar in with my whipped cream because the fluff mixture I made is pretty sweet itself, so I don't need to make this doubly sweet. But anyways, a cup of heavy cream, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then just mix this together with your electric mixer for the next 6 to 7 minutes until you get whipped cream, and you're going to look for hard peaks, much like that in your whipped cream. So that's done. As you can see, Rose is begging me for a taste test, so I'll give her the mixer here. That'll keep her happy, and there we go. We've got some whipped cream, so let's set that aside and go get get our marshmallowy, fluffy mixture here. And it's nice and cool now, so I'm going to pour it in with the whipped cream and then just gently fold it all together with a spatula for a minute or so until everything is thoroughly combined, looking like that. Now let's go get our cooled pie crust. There we go. And it's really straightforward at this point in time. All I'm going to do is pour the whipped cream mixed with the melted marshmallowy fluff mixture into the pie crust, and then I'm going to use my spatula here just to smooth it out. And there's Rose with the whisk trying to bug me. But anyways, there we go. We've got the pie all leveled out, so we're going to stick this in the fridge for the next 5 to 6 hours to let the filling set. Now what I'm going to do is about 3 hours into letting the pie filling set, I'm going to take it out of the fridge just for a second because I'm going to decorate it. I mean, you could eat it like this would be fine, but I just want to add a little bit of extra flair, and I'm going to do that by adding in some mint Oreos. So what I've done here is I've gotten a bunch of them, I've cut them in half. Look at that, look at the nice green filling on those mint Oreos. And I'm just going to decorate the pie with them. Again, this is completely optional. You can decorate them however you want. You can throw some whipped cream on there if you want, or you could, like I said, you could just eat it as is because it's going to be good just like that. But I wanted to add the mint Oreos just for a little bit of extra decoration. And speaking of Oreos, I also have some Oreo cookie crumbs here that I'm going to sprinkle on top. Again, optional, but I think this is going to just make it look nicer and make it taste slightly better as well. So sprinkle on some Oreo crumbs if you want, and there we go. We have a grasshopper pie. So I'm just going to set this back in the fridge for another 2 to 3 hours to let the filling set a little bit more. Okay, so after like 6 total hours in the fridge for it to set, it is ready to eat. So let me give you a quick close-up shot first before we get into it. Look at how gorgeous this is. It's nice and minty and smells like mint Oreo. Oh man, this is beautiful. So let's cut into this. Now, here's the new knife that I got. I mentioned in the previous video, Vostite Cutlery sent me this knife to use on my channel. And you know what, I've used it for a couple of weeks now and I really like it. So, you know, check them out if you want. I mean, hey, I'll throw a link in the description. If you end up buying a knife from them, full disclosure, I get a percentage of the sale. So, you know, don't feel obligated to, but I've been using the knife for a couple of weeks now. It's actually pretty cool. Anyways, back to the pie. I cut myself out a piece here. You screwed up the crust just a little bit, but look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. And of course, my little taste tester is off to the side, just begging for a piece. Surprise, surprise. And look at that. Rose is trying to get into the pie even before I do. What a little sneak. So here we go. Taste test time. I got myself a nice big bite here with a little bit of the Oreo crust. And oh, wow. Was that good. It was so good. The pie filling was fluffy but rich and minty, and obviously the Oreo crust tastes like Oreos, so this tasted like a mint Oreo blizzard but in pie form. Holy, or like a mint Oreo cookie in pie form. This was spectacular. So let's give Rose a taste test here. There we go. And does she like it? Come on, official taste test. There it is. Thumbs up from Rose. So, you know she likes it. And, of course, she wants the Oreo cookie. There you go, bud. But anyways, that's the end of the episode. I hope you like what you saw here today. This was a lot of fun to make, and it was super good. So you should give this a try at home. I think you'd really like it. But, like I said, that's the end of the episode. So why don't you drop me a comment, like the video, or even subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching Idiot Proof Cooking, and we'll see you again soon.